Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 1627. I'm your host, Arwin. And before we start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated. And yeah, I can always use the support. Alright. Thank you to Blue Pill Devolution and to Flatter Sage for obliging. And yeah, that's why there's a show today. So, anyway, weather today again is super beautiful, very hot. It's like sometimes there's a bit of wind and other times it's like really still and then it gets super hot. Just short moments, but then wind starts blowing again and cools off a little. Birds are having a hard time with the heat. And yeah, whenever I fill up the water there, they just instantly dive in and like spoil the whole, basically throw all of it out of it because they're just so overheated. And I noticed that days before I actually got a bit agitated with them because I just thought, why are you literally wasting perfectly good drinking water when that's really hard to find for the other birds? I got agitated with them. And now I've let that go because they're freaking birds. Right. And there's a lot of things like that. Basically I had to pick up on since my healer basically explained that to me. I mean, I already know like, oh, you have to let go of anger, but in this case it's like, no, now it's the main priority. Because I shot through and then it's all trying to suck me in. My anger, right? So, but I think I got it pretty good under control. And I'm gonna test that, of course, by drinking the Gusto energy drink that I still had. Also got Illuminati croissant, by the way. Woohoo. Also, I had all these things yesterday, but I wasn't hungry. Couldn't. Anyway. Cheers. Hello, Cleary, by the way, first in chat. Tastes nice, but it's also nice because it's super cold because I just got it out of the cooler. You don't smell smoke today? Okay, yeah, good, Cleary. I think it's already... Most of it is stopped? Yeah, so not the entirety of America burned down. It was apparently just massive fires. And hey, even as the map showed, it was everywhere. Let's see if I can... recheck it, because it was, I think, live updated. Oh yeah, this crazy thing. Oh, live smoke map, US. Yeah, I ordered a package online and they just didn't deliver it. They just didn't do it. Said like, oh yeah, we're gonna come by. Didn't come by. Oh yeah, next day, oh we're gonna come by. Oh, no, they didn't. And then, oh, we're just gonna send it to a place where you can pick it up. And then they didn't. And now it's just, oh, yeah, oh, you don't have to pay for it. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Like, did they send anything at all? Like, are they out of employees or something? Like, did the guy supposedly delivering the packages just not show up? Or did he die from suddenly or something? Like, what the fuck? That was weird. Right, but whatever. But it was weird. It was weird though. That's never happened before. Anyway, I did find the smoke map. Still plenty of smoke. Whoa. Apparently Indianapolis is... What is that? It's having quite a few fires. Like in the city. Let me share that with you guys. Right, by the way, yeah, it is Saturday, the 10th of June 2023. Temperature should be pretty damn hot. Probably 24, 25. Whoa. Okay. 31. Boom. Yeah, proper hot. Huh. I guess that I've adapted to the summer heat then. Because I thought it was like, oh, this is really hot. It's like 25. But no. No, it's actually much hotter. It's just that I seem to be dealing with it. Huh. Right, so, well, hot. Anyway, well, a lot of people here in chat. Terra306, good to see you. Flatter Sage, good to see you. Thank you, man, for the support. Indianapolis is FAF? What does that mean? Oh, I got mint tea back. I did actually get it. The other stuff had caffeine in it, and that, like, I physically feel relieved that I got mint tea back. It's so weird. It's like, that other stuff was like, yeah, I'm drinking something. And it's like, yeah, I've had worse. But now it's like, I got mint tea back, and it's like, oh, thank God, mint tea. I've really learned to enjoy that stuff. It's just so soothing. This mildness, just this soothing feeling. I love it. And it works great too with the heat. Oh, grey tea with a little honey. Yeah, fair enough. I don't drink Earl Grey anymore. Used to drink a lot of it. And my brother, I think he still does. Do you like stevia? No. Oh, if you got it in the garden, then, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. You could use it. But yeah, stevia has like this taste, and that taste is very dominating. And it's not a bad taste, it just kind of ruins the flavor. So I'm not a big fan of stevia, although it does really work well with certain type of herbal teas. But yeah, I'm not typically an herbal tea guy, so yeah, I get it. Stevia works. And it is like a pretty easy herb, so it's just not my personal favorite. And by the way, I don't really need sweetening. I don't like it. I don't want sweet anymore. I like salt. I'm a salt guy. It's like lacrosol. My addiction to it. By the way, that was the thing that was getting rejected. And like I've ordered it like 3 times before, no problem. Now it's like it just didn't came. And like, oh, we couldn't deliver it. What the fuck? What do you mean you can't deliver it? And like, what was that all pretended? It seemed like it was all like, oh yeah, it's planned. It's in the agenda that he's going there now, and just nothing happens. And like even like they scheduled it like, yeah, we're gonna deliver it at 11 in the evening. What? I don't know, man. There's something weird going on. Maybe they are having some weird logistical issues with that ordering site, Dutch ordering site, whatever. Honey chili potato, what? I've never tried that. What a weird honey and potato? Okay. Sounds very exotic. I guess it could be nice. If you have like other spicy things alongside it. But just that sounds a bit weird. But interesting. Sugar, alcohol, and sugar, alcohol are toxic. Yeah. Hey, Skeptic936, good to see you. Huh. Trying to identify a bird? Well, do you have any digitized photographs of it that you could like put online somewhere, or you could drop it over Skype or something? That could work. I can share it and then we can compare. Flatter Sage. Really spicy. Yeah, well the thing is, by the way, Tarot, about the potato with chili and honey. Chili and honey is a really interesting combination. When I was still like more regular drinker with like a 15 years ago, I used to like mead, and there was this one type of mead that was chili mead. It literally had like chili pepper. It was all reddish, red colored mead. And it was freaking amazing. I loved that stuff. I mean, that was a good drink. And you could like drink it like a liquor because it's pretty damn hot, so you take little nips and then you don't you don't get like a hangover as much because it's just really freaking hot. I loved that stuff at the time. But yeah, honey and chili is actually a surprisingly good combination. So I guess that if you put that on potatoes, then yeah, that could work. You got a photo on your phone, okay. Right, well, if you can, Flatter Sage, send it to me over Skype. You were on my Skype, right? It's been a while ago, I think, but I'm not sure exactly who you are in there, but got a lot of people from the olden days. I don't even know who they are anymore. some weird random person saying, hello, I like your show. Somebody pointed me to your channel and say hello, and that's it. That's the only thing she ever said. She, apparently. Like, what? Okay. What, did she expect I was gonna, like, squirt over her or something? Like, what? I don't get it. Nothing? So, like, some of this activity digitally is just weird and suspicious. Like, I sometimes feel like there's just, like, corporate bots just trying to pull your leg or seduce you and get you caught in a scam. I think it's become, like, more prevalent now. It's been building up for a while. That sort of thing. I mean, there's always been, like, weird scams and, like, email scams, but I mean, those things just keep coming. I mean, they go in the spam box pretty easily, but I mean, they do keep coming. Yeah. What? Conversation about... You think that? You think that the conversation... No, how about you just don't do that, Terror 306? How about you just leave the damn birds alone? And put a bowl out with water for them, you know? That's what I do, like, currently about 6 times a day. If not more. You just made a guess? Okay, fair enough, but I don't feel like raging. I mean, this sounds weird, but I feel like kind of glad that I didn't go to FED yesterday. Cause that was just, I tapped in like 3 times, and all of those times, it was just Nathan yelling against this video he was reviewing. And like, okay, well, I certainly wasn't in the mood for that. And they went on to like 7 o'clock or something. I don't know how long, but it was crazy. Apparently it was all really great and a really great review. That's nice, but I am not... I did other things. I actually went for a walk in the park, and that was awesome. I saw a bunch of rabbits. Like pretty big ass rabbits too. Like head with ears, like pretty big ones. And they would even like stand up. It was a lot of fun, a lot of animals. Great stuff. Ah. Okay. Dude, that's a stock. That's a stock. That took me literally 0.1 seconds. That's a stock. It's very straightforward. I'll share it with the guys, Flatter Sage, but I mean, that's a stock. You could look it up, by the way. Just look for stock. Google it, and you'll see that that's exactly what that is. Pretty cool crest, by the way. Right? So there you go. Or at least it should be. Maybe the coloring is off, but I don't know. Hey, Adamican. Stork, sorry. Stock. I kept Stork. What a weird freaking name that is. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I meant stork. Sorry, but that is very blatantly a stork. I don't know why I call them stork. It's weird. Yeah, and in Dutch it's like totally different. We call them ooievaar. Yeah, can't be more different, right? Let me show stork, and then you know that's it. I mean, there's not a lot of doubt about it. Am I right? See? Stork. Wait, what? Stork. That's a stork. I mean, yeah, maybe it doesn't have black feathers on the back, but other than that, it's the entire composure. I mean, it's gotta be one. Huh. Anyway. Okay, thanks JTF 2023. Yeah, I still do. But that's been forever. Stork, yeah. But what do you say, Flatter Sage? You agree or not? Aren't wetland based? What do you mean wetland based? You mean like a swamp? I'm not sure. Pelican? Yeah, but a pelican has the huge chin and these definitely don't. Or look, it could also be that the guy who drew it just didn't really know. And he just drew what he thought it kind of looked like. But I mean, the main freaking feature of pelican is that they have the huge chin. And this thing definitely didn't have that, Adam. Yeah, that's right. Stork have black wings. But the pelican has a huge chin. So I think there is just an issue of... Or it's an... I mean, if you consider that the coloring would be off, it might be a flamenco. I mean, you know? It's not the portrayal in Heraldry. Oh, okay. Right. Interesting. I'll show it again. So, yeah. You can make up your mind. But yeah, Adam, I know, I love that about heraldry is that the animals like stand for their own unique social traits a lot of the time. It's all very symbolic. That's what I find personally very amazing about like the old way of applying symbolism, is that there was just a logic in that. Pretty amazing. Like, and you would have to know that too. So if you don't know, then you're like, oh, it's just a bird. But no. If you know what bird it is, then it, yeah, you know the traits, etc. Pick like he's standing in water. Well, storks typically do that. I mean, storks have long legs because, well, they hunt for fishies in ponds and shit. And they do make nests on very high places. But it's not like they always hang around in trees or something. They have long legs because that way they can like hunt in ponds. For frogs. A lot of frogs apparently. Yeah, pelicans. Yeah, and pelicans are very different type. I mean, they're obviously more capable of flying easily. Storks are clumsy because of their lengthy limbs and all that. And they're just like basically tower snipers. So they just sit around it, and then it's like, oh, something's moving. And they just spear it. Bang! Really quick. Well, pelicans are just like, they're more like just like seagulls. They're seagulls with scoopers. And yeah, they're not necessarily like social hive creatures as much as seagulls are. They don't really fly in flocks, I think, as much. But like in the way they are often in the ocean, and they dive in and then scoop up a fish. Like bigger fish. Stork's not gonna hunt for bigger fish. Like, if he would just hang around in ponds that had that big a fish, well, that would be dangerous because there's like really large, like those big ass fish, they could bite their legs. I mean, yeah, dive bomb fish, that's right. That's what pelicans do. Very different style. That's the great white heron? Oh. Okay. Heron, could be. There was another one, I didn't remember the name, even in Dutch. So it could be that that's exactly what... Great white... Right! Yeah! I was thinking of the heron, but I didn't even know there was a white heron like that. Yeah, but that makes sense. That very much does look... Although the neck is a little more crooked. Well, I could try to compare it. Let's see. So we got this one. And then let's switch it to that one. Is that it? You think? Yeah, but the neck is like less pronounced. That's why I'd rather go for the stork, because they don't have like such a crooked neck. So, but yeah, it could be a white heron. Looking at the color scheme, that does kind of match. Although the eye is just a dot on this. And with the heron, they like have this kind of yellow patch from the beak to the eye, and that's not really shown in the heraldry. Right. See? So the neck is a little bit more crooked, and the eye. So yeah, but it could very well be that it's representative of a white heron, yeah. Or a stork, but then the coloring is off. So yeah, it's the best I can do to help figure it out. Interesting. Is it a crane? What? A crane bird. Okay, let's try that. No, what the hell? Okay. Same coloring issue though. And I don't see, there doesn't seem to be any fully white grains. I Google it specifically and literally no results. Although the blue crane, but it's more like gray. So, yeah. Decent guess. But I think that the white heron is more likely. Skype? Oh, okay. World's Heraldry. Oh, right, thanks, Adam. You can, by the way, just share that in... Oh, wait, you did. You could just share that in the live chat, by the way. Cool. Yeah, I mean, the coloring, they don't have the hair back piece. So, I don't know, man. Look, unless white herons were just never represented, then you're probably right, Adam. But, right, it's also dependent on, in the time of the heraldry creation, were those birds even known to exist, right? You gotta keep that in mind. So yeah, there might be some bird, oh, there's some bird, like, over there in South America or whatever. And, like, yeah, like what I said, like a flamingo. But I mean, nobody in that time knew flamingos existed. So it could never be that, right? So you got to keep that into account. I don't know about the white herons, though. Like, where are they? Today's show is for the birds. Oh, white herons have a spiritual meaning. Asia, Africa, America. Oh, even in Southern Europe. Okay, well, I guess that herons are literally everywhere, so it could be a heron. Although it is a warmer climate animal, a bird. It does say that in the Wikipedia. So, yeah, I don't know. White herons are pretty cool. I like naturally white birds. I don't know why. I like white doves too. I think they're very interesting. Crane should have a raised leg. Show a picture? Okay, sure. It does not have a raised leg, by the way. In neither depictions. And oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure that it's holding a snake. So that should be an indication. Something. They're both holding a snake. Not the crane? Right. Yeah, and it doesn't have like the the feathers on the back of its head either, which seem very distinctly there with the crane. So I think that the white heron is probably the best guess, since that is the only bird that is fully white, and it was present in Europe. It's like, so they should have known about that in medieval times and all that. Snake in the mouth, I'm not sure about. But it should be significant of something. Whether it is like, oh, they hunt snakes? Do heron hunt snakes? I don't know. Or it's like a special symbol or something. Focus on the coloring, focus on its action. Okay, sure. Oh my god. Ah, yeah, they do hunt snakes. Herons actually hunt snakes. So there you go. I think that I cracked it. And they eat the snake by its head, apparently. How odd. Interesting. Stork, Skype. What? Okay. So it's a stork again? Ah, okay, well, if storks also eat snakes, well, yeah, I get, but the white heron does it. And there are no fully white colored storks. And there are fully white colored herons. So interesting. Right. Oh wait, huh? I'm still showing that. Right. Yeah, it doesn't work. I can't. Anyway, let me get back to normal. Could just put it in here though. Right, anyway. It's all about the birds today. Aren't stork and heron the same animal? No. I don't think so. Yeah, they're not the same. They have larger bills. What the hell is a bill? Oh, it's like the beak. Storks are thicker and stouter, tend to curve up down near the tip. So they go like here. And herons are very dagger-like straight. That's the difference, apparently. Well, it does look as straight as a dagger on the picture as it can be. So unless herons are just beak, right? Unless herons are just specifically not used, I think it really is a white heron. But yeah, I mean, you figure it out, Flatter Sage, it's your crest. Stork is in the heron family. Well, Google disagrees with you. It doesn't say they're of the same family. It specifically says compared to the heron family, which kind of insinuates that they are not part of the heron family. So, yeah. Okay. Look at the birds native to... What the fuck? Pussafodernis? What the hell? Okay. Okay, Adam. Sure. If you really think that that it has to be a stork, which funnily enough was my first guess. I literally said it in 0.1 seconds. But if you insist that it can only be a stork and that herons would never be used for heraldry, then sure. Okay, I guess it's a stork then. If it is known to be depicted with snakes and all that. Sure. I'm not a heraldry expert. I'm just heraldry curious. I like the idea of it, and I also try to use that in D&D games. I'm insisting. Okay. So there's no reference. I'm asking, Adam. There's no reference to herons being used. Adam nailed it with it. Yeah, sort of skeptic, but I mean, even in that thing, it has a very dark backside. So you could say it's the artist's fault. But I mean, that bird in the crest does not have a dark backside, and that is just a fact. So you can blame the artist, or it's a heron. If that's even something that would have been done. Right? That's the question. So, Right, I'm gonna take a bite of this Illuminati because I'm getting quite hungry. Cheers. Mm. What the hell? Yeah, hey, JTF 2020. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, definitely not about the subject, that's for sure, but like, somebody says that koalas, apes, white sharks are not real. Okay. What the hell was that? Oh, hello, by the way, television. Didn't see you there. Hmm. Mm. I think that a lot of truthers out there, they don't, yeah. I mean, it's all very logical, but when you get from like a flat earther to realizing that it's just like, yeah, this is how it works, this is what we got to deal with, they just start to make up shit to get away from it and just kind of be conspiracy theorists and just make up shit and get all weird and solipsistic and ooh, it's all not real. And then you just start to make videos. Oh, I'm going to make a presentation arguing why all of that doesn't exist. Why these animals are just made up. I mean, there wasn't even a panda in that list. What the fuck? You know how freaking weird pandas are? I mean, if you just learn about how they work, how they procreate, like those creatures shouldn't be able to survive. Like, should have never. They're like, that's not a natural creation. They were probably a genetic hybrid. Very early genetic engineering. Because there's no history of pandas in old times. In China. Like, there's no sign that pandas have ever existed before the 19th century. Right? So that wasn't even in the list. Like, what kind of dumbass conspiracy says that apes are not real? But what, they missed a panda? Hey, Dr. Utker, good to see you. What? What the fuck are you talking about, Cleary? What? What? Hello, Steamy Trout. Really? Dude, you gotta link me up to that, because that's the first time I'm hearing about it. Where are you getting that from? And how the hell would a panda be an invincible animal? Seriously? What? Okay. This is... what is that? What's the source for this? Who wrote this? There's literally no source. This seems to be just a document. This seems like a complete horse shit fabrication. Sorry to say so, Steamy Traveler. I mean, I scrolled for... there's literally zero sourcing in it. Zero. Is that who you? Okay. Science museums. Okay. Okay, they mentioned that even Japan was involved. Is there any record of that in Japan? I mean, I'm being highly skeptical here. I don't believe that they existed. Yeah, difficult for them to be. It's ridiculous, Flatter Sage. If you just look at the species, how they are, like the ones that you actually get to see on camera, they're ridiculous. Hey, Kumu virus. Right, so I'm not saying that pandas literally do not exist. Oh yeah, they exist. It's just that they were not, in my opinion, from everything I've seen. And Owen Benjamin says this too. And he's held on to it. It's not like, oh yeah, it was just joking. There's great indication that panda is not actually a natural animal. That they're hybrids. And hey, maybe in ancient China, they did it too then. Like that the panda was created from whatever and that they were really big and strong. But I mean, just look at these mating habits. Like, that species shouldn't survive for that long. It seems like an unnatural hybrid. And they might have existed in ancient China and then very logically died out because they're hybrid, like mutants. And then maybe they recreated them in the 19th century. Just did the same process. So yeah, I'm not buying it. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, sure, Kumu virus. Yes. Oh yes, evolutionary branch. Yes. Right. That's what it said. Yeah, I'm sure it does, Kumu virus. You shouldn't believe everything you just read. You don't. Well, I know it's not true, Kumu virus. I know it's not true. Like, those numbers are based on absolutely nothing but a bunch of presuppositional storytelling bullshit. Conjuration. It's a conjuration based on evolution. It must be there, so there must be this timeline and all that. Yeah, it's completely made up horse shit. Yeah? There is no indication of anything in this world being older than 10,000 years. Like, even if it might be, we wouldn't even know how to prove it. Okay? It's completely pointless to even read into numbers that go over that. Because it must be made up. Right? I mean, there might be things older than that, but we can't tell. We don't know how to. It's all just a bunch of science people based on stupid presupposition of lies and false mechanics, just saying, oh, wow, it's so much older, it's millions of this. All made up, conjured horse shit. You have nothing to base it on, but a bunch of presuppositional nonsense theories that have no proof for them. Pandas are apes. Yeah, sure they are. But pandas would not survive in nature for long. I don't think they're natural blueprints. Let's just say it like that. I don't think they were original creations. They might be like a bear version of what is a mule. I'm serious. It might be that. They might be a very weird bear version of the mule. Just a unnatural hybrid. Mules can't procreate. Yeah? Well, pandas apparently can, but it's super, super tricky and completely unviable. So there you go. Suits and animatronics in movies for years now. Yeah. Oh, there have definitely been animatronics used. But it's also because, well, these pandas are really shy. They don't show themselves. So it's like, from what I've heard, and this is probably legit, is that they would have a panda. It's like, oh, the prize panda. Oh my god, it was so hard to get. And then they just hide in their hole, like forever, like never ever coming out, like for years, just never ever coming out of their hole. And all these people are like, where's the panda? There's no panda here. So they eventually just put an animatronics there, because otherwise it would have been all a gigantic flop of an investment. Because they had the panda, but he would just never ever come out, and they needed to show it. So they just put an animatronics there. I think that really happened. I mean, it's sensible enough. It's crazy though. Right? And it doesn't prove that pandas don't exist. It's just that they're not suitable for a zoo because they never come out. They never show themselves. They're super private. Like, or they're like completely retarded. Like, hey, they can have retard mindsets too, and that's might be the ones that you get to see eventually, right? The ones that are like goofing around and just literally don't even know how to walk properly and do stuff. Well, they might be like that because they were just born retarded. Hey, that can happen. Animals too. They were born retarded, especially if you're a non-natural hybrid. Yeah. And they get born retarded, and so they don't have that super strong hide instinct that a non-retarded panda has. So that you always the pandas on video, they're all retarded because only retarded pandas show themselves. Right? That could be it. That could literally be what's happening. But it all points in the direction that they're not natural blueprints. That they're probably hybrids like mules are. And it's a miracle that they can procreate at all. Right, and since they're kind of an interesting species, not unlikely that it's just like they were created and then made into the mascot, right? And so they were like imperially adopted to keep it alive. It's like if a country would say, our mascot is the mule, and we're gonna say that the mule are just like super awesome creature, and they are. I mean, mules are super strong and they lift like no other creature. Like a mule is like a shrunken elephant. It's crazy how much those creatures can handle burden-wise. But they don't procreate, right? So yeah, then adopting the mule as a mascot and then even falsify history how mules have always existed and they're like unique to our country, but they have to like secretly breed them like that and then put them out in the wild and then uphold like they were always there. I think that that's sort of what it is, what's happened with pandas. Right? Does it make sense what I'm saying? Let's figure out a title for this thing. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. I am. I'm doing great. I mean, I had support in. It's like, just, you don't know how much of a relief that is when I do actually get support when I really need it. So I really appreciate that you heard the call yesterday. Because I want to. Okay, yeah. Thanks for telling me. Yeah, mute. I get it. Long mute. Sorry about that. I was editing the title, so the title is now Figuring Out Heraldry and Pandas, and Are Pandas the Mules of Bears? Noise? What? What do you mean? What do you mean? Seems completely fine. Right. Yep. Thanks. Anyway, we got a title for today. Crossbreeding. I don't even know what red pandas are. Never heard of that. Wait, what? Huh. Those creatures really look like raccoons. The fuck? The lesser panda. They're kind of cute though. Don't know if they are actually nice. They look like they could be pretty ferocious. The evolution tree. Yeah, right. But I mean, that red panda does kind of look a bit like a raccoon, doesn't it? Just a little. Hybrids of... I don't think that they can procreate together, Zane Solo. But I don't know. I don't know exactly what type of hybrid they would be between which bears. But I mean, that red panda thing, it looks like it could be a real original animal. So maybe it was used with like another bear. Maybe they crossbred it with like a polar bear or something weird. I don't know, man. But whatever they did, yeah, pandas. Black and white pandas. Yeah, that's what I thought. Akumovara definitely seems like you would have to stick to the same family. All right. Maybe it's done in a lab. Yeah, well, it would have had to be done in a lab in the 19th century, though, Zane Solo. Yes, Nakamura is exactly a liger or a mule. Right? Donkey, horse, mule. So I think that pandas are like that, except that they apparently can procreate, but it's like super hard. So it didn't cut off the procreation ability entirely, but made it really hard. Ligers are not the most ridiculous animals. Why? They're just really big and they never stop growing. Until they're like too big that they literally collapse under their own weight. That's a liger. Are zebras horses? Well, they are in the same family. You can actually crossbreed with zebras, but they are very remote, though. I mean, zebras are about as close to horses as donkeys are. Even though they look almost the same, yeah, there is still a big difference. Or maybe they are the same family. I'm not sure. I have seen like that there are crossbreeds with zebras and they don't get infertile. But different species. Well, maybe then not different species, just a different type of tribe. Like the zebras are... There's not a lot of horses in Africa. You might have noticed the Kuma virus. But there are... Like zebras are the horses of Africa. Right? There's no zebras in Europe. There's horses in Europe though. Lots of them. And even in North Arabia, like North Africa. Right, there's the Arabian style horse. It's because, well, that's where they came from. So there were horses in Europe and around the Mediterranean, and of course much further inland and in the east and all that. But in Africa, it's mostly zebras. Well, it's probably because that's how they did it. They're just horses that got this weird perspective distorting camouflage thing going on. And you could argue that that's how they survived. It's like the horses that just had that stripe pattern had a massive advantage. So it is like an evolution, but not really. It's an adaptation based stories, right? Zebras may simply be horses that adapted to the more hostile conditions in Africa with the heat and all the lions and all that, and they developed a stripe pattern because otherwise they wouldn't have made it. We never see people ride zebras. Yeah. Well, maybe that's because the African people are not so much about riding animals. Right? I mean, in ancient, like elephants, right? An African might ride an elephant, and in India, that's it. But in India, they do ride horses, though. But in Africa, that's never been a thing. I think. Well, maybe some parts, though. I don't know what it is. Maybe zebras are just like too wild. But I don't know. Maybe zebras can be actually properly trained as horses. I'm not entirely sure. I never thought of that. But look, if horses have been trained over millennia, generation upon generation, to become obedient, right, to adapt their mind's consciousness to humans and to be perfected as riding animals in mind, right? Well, if you don't keep doing that, like for example with zebras, nobody did that, well then they wouldn't be generationally developed for being riding animals. They'd just be completely wild. Right? Well, riding horses universally have always been used for riding animals, like in the most ancient of ancient times. So even if horses would escape or a place would be disastrous, right? Everything dies, the humans die, the horses flee, and then some of the horses might survive in the wild, and you get a flock of wild horses, and then you can start to tame them again, and they turn out to be great riding animals because generationally, thousands of generations, they have been used as riding animals, and so they're all just adapted to that naturally. Even if they do break free and go in the wild again, they'll still be more easily tamed and animals that just have never been used for that in any generation, right? So it's just like man just chooses a long time ago, like these are the types of animals that we're going to use. Going to use the horses, going to use the elephants, and that's it. Camels, of course, you know, that kind of thing. Ah, zebras and donkeys are more... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so could you make a zebra mule? Or a jackass? That's hilarious, Cleary. A zonkey. That's hilarious. It's like a donkey with all the quirkiness. But they're all striped. That must be really funny. Okay, yeah, let's Google that. Zonkies for sale. Or a Z-donk. That's so cute. That's really cute. That's adorable. Although they look like they could be really nasty. But I mean, so can any horse. Just look at that. So cute. Mules are sterile? Yeah, that's correct. Zebra. Okay. Well, Kumovirus, when I looked up Hebra, it says marine snail. Oh, and Hebra is apparently also a religion in the world of Hyrule from the Zelda franchise. So what the fuck? So I don't know what you're talking about, Kumovirus, but there's even a jockey on the zebra. Oh. Okay, so they are used? Yeah, okay, Akumu Virus, we get it. Enough already. Right, I see it. So zebras are not ideal riding animals because they're not as strong. and their back is more straight. So they have slightly different types of physiology that makes them less capable. So they're kind of weaker, apparently, than regular horses. But they can be used for it. They just probably tire out quicker. Which also makes me think that instead of riding and working animals, they might have just simply be bred for eating instead. Right? That would make more sense. If they've been more used for a food source and not for labor, then they would have, well, adapted to not be super durable and strong as much. If they were at any point ever really bred by humans. Zebra huddled together and distorted the lion's vision. Yeah. That's interesting, Cleary. Yeah, that could be it. So they developed more specific camouflage instead of more durability and strength. Different way of adaptation. Interesting. Yeah, Akuma Rise, it's not refraction though. It's not refraction that causes the lines not to distort, right? It's the mind processing aspect. The mind has like too much trouble processing the depth because of the white and black lines. This is well known, like in psychology testing and all that. They have all these little tricksies where you can show these lines and then you think it is a certain size, but it's completely different, really. And that's because the mind, when there's like white and black lines close to one another, especially, your mind tries to like use a sort of form of physicality assumption bias to basically quickly, automatically try to figure out what the depth perception is of the situation. It's just what the brain does, right? But if there's all these black and white lines, it gets huge amounts of trouble. You can get a headache from that. And so can animals. So it's not refraction, it's actually the brain. It's the 3D processing system that goes like secondary to the eyes. That the filter for the ocular information goes through all these processes to try to size up 3D, all that, and it is the thing that has trouble with it. So it's not refraction, actually. right? I mean, you're going to point a camera at a flock of zebras, you're not going to get a distorted picture, right? It's only if you're actually there and you try to look at it with your 3D based eyes, that's when you're going to get that weird effect, because it takes place in the brain. It's not part of the actual optics. Right, hope you guys are enjoying the show. I mean, hey, I could bring up Flat Earth and then have a Kumu Virus be a Baltard again in chat. Whatever you like, guys. If you want more Flat Earth, then, well, I could do that. Sure, why not? Or we can keep talking about animals, that's fine too. The wavy lines of the zebra blend in with the wavy lines of the dog. What? Oh. Yeah. That's a good point. Because the stripes are all vertical. So if there's like other stuff around it, and sticks or grass, yeah, that would actually like really make it confusing. It's interesting. How could anyone ever know that? That lions are colorblind? Well, all feline are colorblind, George Sanford. That's actually been tested. You can test that, right? It's not that hard. It's like you just put the animal in a typical type of just psychological study stuff, and you can definitely check whether an animal can make out whether a color is different or not from another color. You don't have to talk to it. You just need to see if it will respond. Like if it knows, like if you basically play a game with an animal, like you have multiple things, little displays or whatever with colors, and you have like all of them have the same color except one, and then at the one that has the exceptional color that's different, if you push a button beneath it, right, you will get food. But if you push any of the buttons that isn't the exception color, you don't get any food. And like you can't push the other button afterward and like it won't open. You have to push it, the right one, immediately, right? And you train an animal to do that, then you can absolutely test whether there's a color that they can distinguish from another color. You can do all the combinations, right? And so you get up to the point where there's typically, for most colorblind, very typically red and green. So what do? Take green buttons and one red one. Guess what? The animal's gonna look around and just be frustrated because it can't see the difference. Yeah? And that's how you know. That's how you know then. Because if it could see the difference, it would absolutely go for the prize. Because that's what animals do. And that's how you find that out. That's how you can test whether an animal's colorblind in some ways or not. Right? And then of course there's the physiological, like literally just like take a dead animal's eye and just put it under the microscope, study what the kind of platelets are in the eyes, and you can determine that way too. Like, oh, it doesn't have the color type platelets, only contrast based. And then you know. That's right, more rods than cones for night vision. Because you need to get super high contrast. And you get that with the cones, or more with the rods. Rods help you with contrast, which is what you really need in the darkness, because there's like a lot of shades of black. But you want to still see the difference. Because you need to see that motion. Well, day animals don't need that as much. Like, there are probably other types of species that don't really hunt animals as much and would rather go for plants. And well, if you want to find certain plants, you either have to have perfected smell for like a subterranean digging creature, or you would need good sight, so you could literally spot the right colors for the plant or the flower or whatever, right? What does it reflect like? Yeah, that is right. Yeah, owls and cats, they do have that eye reflection thing happening sometimes. Yeah. Interesting. Which almost makes you think that their eyes are probably like just, they're seeing relatively blinding light all the time, and then they just don't really use their eyes as much. It's just like a big white blurry stuff, and then something moves and they see the movement still. They're like, oh. But I mean, cats, when it's like midsummer in the middle of the day, they probably don't really see all that much compared to at night, where they see really well. But I mean, cats wouldn't need to, because what is a cat gonna do in the middle of the day except be lazy? You know? Unless it's colder, and then they might, like, or in springtime or whatever, and then fool around and hunt for frogs or something. But I mean, it's more like playing around. They just need to see something move. That'll still work. What? Why are you bringing up Ace Ventura, George Sanford? You don't need to talk to an, I already addressed this. You don't need to talk to an animal to figure out their properties. Your dogs can run through the forest at night as if there was daylight. Interesting. But I think also dogs, they use their ears so they can like run around in the dark and mostly just hear whether there's going to be like an obstacle somewhere. It's kind of funny because I tried that myself. I mean, I'm a weirdo sometimes, and I like to like walk in the middle of a pitch black forest, like in the middle of the night with no moon or anything. Because if I do that, it's like my ears like get heightened in their senses, and eventually I can literally just hear what's around me. I can just hear whether there's something there or not, even if it's pitch black. So I have my visual mechanisms, right, which are very, very developed with me. It's like visualizing, using frameworks of my effective imagination to overlay things in the world, which can be very helpful. It's almost like, oh, you have a virtual reality thing that's like, oh, you see the targeting thing and all that, right? Very cool. Well, I have that in my head, sort of, and it does work for some things. And it also works kind of for echolocation, where I just use what I hear, and then what I hear automatically just translates in this white stuff over black. It's like a wireframe thing, and it works really well. I could just like see, hey, there's something there. It's this big. It's moving that direction. Sensory deprivation? Or just effective echolocation coordination. They could just use their hearing in the dark. And by the way, dogs, of course, also have their smell on top of that. So they can probably just coordinate all these senses into a sort of visual framework to replace their sight. They just go on hearing and smell. I mean, dogs might even like hear it. They might even, you could also use echolocation by stomping on the ground. Or like just puffing. Like if you're sharp enough, you can hear what's up ahead by tapping on the ground. Echolocation. You could use a little echolocation. Yeah. When you're blind, you have to develop an echomovirus. If you don't develop it when you're blind, you're completely fucking useless. Like, as a blind person, you just must develop it. You're gonna develop it. Like, even if you get blind later on in life, like, you just have to develop it. You got all these nerve systems for visual input, and you gotta do something with it, right? I wasn't born blind. Yeah, and even people that are born blind still express how they do have what they think would be visual input. And a lot of them like just have complete sight in their dreams even. Like they've never seen anything with their real eyes, but they see full on visual dreams. Now that's freaky. It gets even weirder when there's people that are blind and that then dream about people, and then they go and describe what they saw in the dream, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly how I look. Now that's freaky. If you run into that. I might have run into a blind person that had that in the past, but I forgot. Some dreaming sound. I want to put this subject in the title too. I'm gonna cut down on the pandas. What the hell? Okay. I'm gonna call this show Figuring Out Heraldry, Hybrid Animals. We talked about more than just pandas. An extrasensory perception. Because it is. Echolocation is a form of extrasensory perception. Because you're using something that technically even isn't a sense. That gathers information from your other senses and then puts in a new sense, basically, something that is like a visual guidance. So yeah, I think it does fall under extrasensory perception. What do you guys think? You think that's correct? Or do you disagree? And then I'll change it. Maybe, if you make a good argument against it. You wonder if a blind person experiences visuals and hallucinations? No. No, they don't. They don't directly have visual distortions because they're not using their eye nerves like that. But they can definitely have visions, though. Right? Because like things like LSD and DMT, you go like whoop into the dark world, like with you in the spirit realm. Yeah, well, it's just visual there, right? As I said, in the dream realm and in the dark world, you'll probably have complete sight, like you always had it. Closed eyes hallucinations? Yeah, but that's because Akumo-virus. Those aren't technically hallucinations. Those are just waking dreams. It's something that happens in your mind. It's not something that distorts the visuals, right? If your actual waking visual information is getting distorted or displaced by something that's not actually there, that's an hallucination. Yeah, an hallucination is not you dreaming about something. Like you can, for example, like be doing something and then fall into daydreaming, and you thought you were watching something, listening to something, and then you end up having completely different imagery in your mind you're thinking about and you're seeing. That's not hallucination. That's just daydreaming. Hallucination is like the active alteration of like conscious, visually observed data, not its replacement because you're distracted. That's different. That's not really hallucination. That's just you getting distracted by your inner things. At least I think that's how hallucination is defined, that it's specifically about distorted visual information, not about what you're doing in your own mind. Right? So like typical hallucination would be, oh, you're standing there and you see everything, and somebody's like, now that's hallucination, right? That's like a complete distortion of the input you're getting, like in the moment, and it's usually kind of freaky. That's hallucination. But if you're just like really inclined to dream or whatever, you're like, oh, I want to think about this and that, and then you're like looking at something, and then you're not looking at it, you're opening, you have your eyes open, but you're like thinking about something else that completely displaces your actual live sensories, and that's usually regarded as daydreaming. It's a very different effect from hallucinating. See? It's not the same thing. Right? Although what is very typical that is that a hallucination, if it's very persistent and you don't panic from it, that it will eventually transition into a waking dream. So it's like, oh, it starts to distort. Oh, it's weird. And then you're like, oh, I'm thinking about this. It reminds me about something. And before you know it, you're suddenly not really consciously there anymore. And you're in a dream state, like a living dream. This is what kind of can happen. But a dream state being completely somewhere else in your mind is not hallucination. It's just tripping. Or the dark world. Or an out-of-body experience. Or not hallucination. Hallucination is specific distortion of the sensory input as you're receiving it live with your senses. Like melting in a rock chair. Oh, really? Ooh, auditory tactile hallucinations. Ooh, that's freaky. I mean, that must be really freaky, Cleary, if you're having, like, auditory, that, like, weird shit starts happening. That's freaky as hell. Sometimes I wonder if I'm hallucinating too with auditory senses, but it's not. It isn't. But because a lot of the time when I like go to bed and stuff, I think about things. Dude, there's so much psychokinetic energy, like so much activity going on. When it like things tap and ding, boom, so hard that sometimes it's like so loud. I fear that if it would be stronger, it would literally like break the window or something. It's so fucking loud. It's crazy. And it happens like almost every night. It's not like I feel really uncomfortable if it happens. It just freaking happens like every night. For the last 20 years, especially the last 10 years, it's been like really like every single time. There's no night where I go to sleep and it's like everything is quiet. It can't remember the last time that's happened. Like even when I was with my ex, it would still happen like every time. It's weird. Yeah, it's not directly related, of course, psychokinetic energy. It's not related to your sensory, but I mean, it does happen. I still don't know why the fuck that keeps happening. And it always happens like I'm in moral conflicting thoughts about things. I have a lot of like pretty painful grinding and contemplating that I do about things sometimes. And I don't try to over dramatize. It's just that for some reason, I just get involved with really fucking complications. I keep doing it in my mind. And I don't like, oh, it's all mine, I have to solve it. But it's just, I do go there and dwell on it. And then I try to feel out like, how do I see this? And a lot of the times, if I like sort of like make decisions, it like in the microsecond I make that decision, it's like ding. What the fuck? And it's like this, like my head's over there, and it sounds like this. That loud, and in complete silence around me. So like boom. Exactly the moment where I like do something with like the moral contemplation and energy. It's so weird, but it keeps happening every time. I don't know why. Like what that is, what I could do with it. Could I do something actually telekinetic and under control with it? Because I mean, I have that residual thing. I feel that I might have potential for telekinesis. It's just it's not being regulated by me in any way. It just seems like a side effect every time. But it's there, the energy's there, the potential strength of it is there. I mean, if I can make noises that loud out of literally nothing, then who knows, man? Maybe I could actually break glass with my mind, for example. But it would have to be those very specific circumstances, because it doesn't happen during the day. It only starts happening like after midnight, usually. Very typical moment. But it is. It doesn't happen during the day. It doesn't happen during daylight at all, to think about it. As soon as there's any kind of indication of the sun, that stops. Isn't that weird? Or just don't say anything for 5 minutes and let me ramble on about this. You can do that too. I know I kind of pulled it out of nowhere. I mean, but we were talking about like extrasensory perception. And although it's not the sensory that is like extraordinary in this case, it is a perception of something that does seem to happen as a side effect of my internal actions. So especially when I'm morally contemplating things. It's like this weird nudging game. This is like super ethereal, as in there's not going to be anything solid about it that I can describe. It's just an experience. It's like riding through the energies of everything that's happening, even outside of me, because I take on the world on my shoulders. It's ridiculous. Most of the time I can't really handle it. I can only do it even in soft form. Because as soon as I take the actual kind of weight of everything is really happening and just trying to imagine the actual burden that people have on them, I can't handle that. It's like my empathy gets way overloaded. So it's always a soft version. But even when I do that, the tension does build up, and I try to make decisions to, I think, kind of like it's a training. It's like a training what I do with it. It's like that whatever situation comes around live in the moment, I have a preset response to it on an ethereal level, so that I don't have to be lost in indecision at any point. So it's like working out insights and how to regard things. Really, that's kind of what it is. It's so very fluid and all that, but it is a process that keeps going. And when I do that, and I dwell upon things and upon state of minds, and it's what state of mind is going on with the people that are watching my show, and what state of mind is going on with the FED crew, and what state of mind is going on with the followers that typically come there, and the rest. And then really try to figure it out beyond their individual consciousness. See where is this going? How is it building? How is it shrinking? Why? How many people that are part of that know that that's happening like that? And I contemplate about this stuff heavily, and I come to certain conclusions, and then it's okay. And that's shock, ice scare. It's really startling when that happens out of nowhere. Doom! Right next to my head, right? It's this distance away from me. Boom! What the fuck? And it happens during those moments. Very typically. Contemplate about this internal ethereal network of trying to figure out the workings of humans, and especially collective behavior of humans. And like really have all this wireframe in my head of like how it's all working and flowing and resonating with each other and maneuvering where it's going. And when I get really serious and visual with it, and eventually, oh yeah, come to conclusions, and then bang, I shock out of it. Or when I'm like internally morally grinding about things in my past, and I'm like, oh my god, did I actually go too far? I'm trying to like justify things, like like looking at it from all perspectives, including the one I was then. It kind of like as a form of self-judgment, I guess. And that when I do that, I get some really dark feelings and memories back sometimes. I mean, I went through really dark shit, guys. Like, the overall state of mind that I was in, I'm not proud of at all. Like, it was really bad news. I was basically like, especially in the beginning of that, kind of a eugenicist. I was like, let's do this. But then I discovered that it's really all, in actuality, controlled by people that just want to exterminate everything. Like, it's not under control. And as soon as I figured that out, it's like, oh my god, what am I part of here? What have I contributed in thought? Because, yeah, that would be great if somebody had a good system for that. Yeah, and be under control of people that aren't just rioting demons, that are just hypocritical about everything, and that don't have order in mind for it. They don't apply it for order. They apply it only for control and destruction. And so, yeah. Moral internal struggles and contemplation and self-reflection. It has a lot of residual kinetic, psychokinetic effects when I do that at night. I think when people meditate, they hear weird sounds. Okay, but flat earth say it's not like a auditory hallucination though. Like, it's actually happening. When I hear ding, I can literally pinpoint the location of where it's coming from. I can pull my hand towards the glass if I'm focused enough and I wake up quick enough. I could literally go there and still feel the remnant of vibration coming from the glass from that effect. So it's actually happening. There's something physically happening to make that sound. It's not just an auditory hallucination that's overlaying the sensory input. There's actually things physically vibrating after that happened. So yeah, some people might hear weird sounds, but yeah, that could be auditory hallucinations. Well, what I experience is, I call it psychokinetic because it is actually physically something that happens. That is strange. Maybe I've had it since I was 8. Although it's much stronger now. Like, the taps are much harder. I'm still kind of waiting for it to become so strong that it'll actually break glass. Because it's been getting stronger over the decades. Like, when I was young, it was like ding sometimes. And like, oh. I literally would think like, oh, a fairy just tapped on the glass to say hello or something. Like a thing from the spirit realm. Because I definitely believed in it. I believed there was this whole fauna of spiritual things around and orbs, and I would see that shit, and then it's like, oh ding, oh, somebody's saying hello. It's like somebody like knocking on the door, hey dude, I'm here. And that's what I would feel like. Oh, somebody just knocked on the glass to say hello because I'm thinking about something that they're caring about or something. And maybe that's still what is happening. Maybe there's like a spirit guide related. Maybe they are my spirit guides that are like actually trying to warn me even about like, hey, maybe you're overburdening yourself with that. Maybe you shouldn't do that. Because a lot of the time the taps and the sounds that come off it, they do sound kind of ominous and warning. And that's why they startle the shit out of me. Maybe spirit. It is spirit related. It absolutely is spirit related. Psychokinetics is spirit related. It's something physically happening, and it is, well, what else could it be than related to the spirit? Right? It's not dependent on the environment either. I can go to another person, sleep there, and guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna happen there. It happens wherever I go. It's wherever I go to sleep, where I'm designated to go sleeping, it happens there. Every time. It'll happen into a motel room. It'll happen when I stay over at somebody else's place. Wherever I'm gonna eventually end up sleeping, and knowing that, that's where it happens. Is it like a ding sound? No, it's like a... It's kind of like that. I do it harder, but I'm afraid I would actually damage the window. Let's see. If I would have like a wooden tapper, that would be probably better. Something wood to tap it with. Maybe I could like put a piece of paper over it. That would probably make it more like that. Let's see. Let's see how it sounds. Yeah, that's actually pretty close. Although it usually goes more boing boing boing. So maybe it's not the right. Is this? Yeah, I think this is the one that actually snaps. Let's see what that sounds like. Silly experiments that aren't really experiments, they're just tests over at Arwin's channel. Yeah. Well, that's a very typical sound that I get to hear in the middle of the night when I'm lying still in my bed. Like a subscriber notification? No, it's not like subscriber notification. Very muff. What the fuck? What the fuck? Ew. What kind of a picture is that? Why would you use that as an icon? That's gross. Maybe it's the way people of calming things. Well, it could be. It does feel like a tension breaker, Flatter Sage. So whether it is, yeah. Why the hell do you think? Yeah, this is a 12 plus channel, not an 18 plus. I'm gonna kick you out. I'm sorry. You're probably not even nefarious. I just don't. It's not acceptable. I don't want people to find that in my channel. So you just have to visit other channels that are okay with that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, flatter stage, it is always a tension breaker when it happens. But I wonder if it's like a natural effect from the tension building up inside of me that eventually releases the tap effect. Or whether, like, well, it would be an outsider doing that to break the tension effect. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not, no pornification, okay? If you're making a standard habit of just doing something like that, I don't want you around here. Okay, what do you mean, Flatter Sage? The tap, what I talked about, if there's other people that have that, you're gonna figure that out? Okay. Well, yeah. I do believe that I'm not the only one. But it's definitely not everybody. It doesn't happen to everybody. But especially people that are like hyperactive and have like strong emotions and all that, I guess that they typically do have it. And I think, by the way, that in that sense, like any type of sort of magical regarded skill is usually directly, its strength is usually directly related to the strength of their emotional experiences. Yeah. Like really big emotion brings bigger telekinesis, for example. And hey, I'm quite the emotional person, really. Probably would have taken notice of that by now, if you know what I mean. Well, with great emotions comes great power. But that doesn't mean that you have that power under control, though. You have to work that up, or lose it and become out of control. Like what you typically get to see out there, SJW types and communist freaks. They have lots of emotions, if they even have anything left, because they might drug it all out of existence. Right? But I think it's pretty true. It's like if you have strong emotions, you have magical capability, of what would be associated with magical capability. It's just true. It's not intelligence, it's the emotion. Intelligence helps you understand things, helps you get through things quicker. Help finding a way through, even. Intelligence, yeah? But that's it. Being intelligent doesn't give you superpowers. Right? Even in popular cultural expression, like for example Dragon Ball Z, it's very obvious, yeah? Emotion is the thing that gives the power. how deep your feelings can go, how intense you can be through those feelings, right? It's not the smarts that give you the volume of power. It's just the smarts help you know to tactically apply it all better. But people that are usually emotionally numb, like everything's fine with them no matter what, like they don't have any magical capabilities. It's like they're just sort of robotic a bit emotionally, and it's like, oh yeah, nothing really big. They're not gonna have telekinetic side effects, right? They're not gonna have weird paranormal experiences, probably even. They'll probably be default skeptic about it and just not accept it. And people with a lot of feelings and emotional experiences, they do. It's a fact. This mic really sucks sometimes, man. Smarts help you create techniques? No. You just do it. I mean, there's complete idiots in Dragon Ball Z, and they still use those powers, so has nothing to do with smarts, Akumu Virus. Nothing in Dragon Ball Z actually has to do with smarts other than tactics. Like strategy. That's it. And barely even that. I mean, smarts in Dragon Ball Z is mostly expressed at who is the biggest bluffing gamma piece of shit that's super smart. They're really the smart one. Yeah. I mean, there's no real function for intelligence that's very developed in Dragon Ball Z. Right? The main focus is emotions. That's the thing. That's where you get the kick from. That's where they apply all the heavy graphics. Emotion. Yeah, I know Akumu Virus. Yeah, Goku's dad was an average fighter, but he was a brilliant scientist. I know. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool. Oh, you developed something. Oh, you can do this and that. Yeah, but it's nothing to do with power level though. Get it? Kind of funny that Goku's dad looks exactly like him. Apparently, a lot of people in Dragon Ball Z cosmology from planet Saiyan look like Goku. So Raditz look like Goku. Like, yeah, whatever. only works for saying, yeah, Akumu virus. The point is, before you try to undermine and unravel whatever I bring on the table about something, yeah, the point is that Dragon Ball Z revolves around emotion. That's the entire fucking point of the series. Everything revolves around emotion. That's when the kick-ass shit happens, and when the special graphics application happens. It's what the entire story is freaking centered about every single episode. Yeah? It's what the cliffhangers are all about the emotion. So, the intelligence... No, it's about the emotions. Fact. Intelligence has nothing to do with power level. Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you know it, so stop being contrarian about it. I gotta refresh that water for the birds. Anyway. Yeah, there's a link between powers and emotions. This is intuitively true for people, and it is practically true. But you could also, like, esoterically and ethereally, like, consider that, well, what is emotion? Is emotion really good? Is it? Like, is it a good influence? Or could you say it's the freaking devil that always gets in the way of everything? One way or the other. By making you want things that aren't practical or aren't good for you, really. Or through all the grief and all the happiness and then the contrast that you can't handle. Right? Emotions are mostly really a burden, practically. So... right? I mean, a lot of people that are stoic in their composure, and they learn to do that, they do it because, well, it's like trying to cage a devil to them. Their emotions are very disruptive to them, and they, yeah, well, that's pretty much, they're very disruptive. And so they choose to bind them, like put them in a cage forever. Lock them up forever. It's like, you are a devil. I'm locking you in this cage and I'm never letting you out. Ever. Although then they don't really learn about emotions too much either. But that's one way of dealing with it. I sort of had the option, I think, to do that. But that did not work. I wanted it. I wanted to be emotionally shut off at times. Because my emotions have been very fucking disruptive in my life. At every stage. And led me to develop self-hatred. And to even get a self-image of that people despise me. And still to this day, there is remnants of that. It's like it's never gonna go away. Not completely. And there's good times, but it's still like hanging there in the background. It's all because of fucking emotions, guys. Emotions are the worst. Feelings are fine. Emotions are the worst. But yeah, you could say that they are like the link of the devil within the design. And well, if magical powers seem to, for telekinetic effects seem to associate with emotions, then I don't see how they wouldn't have come to the conclusion that all magic was of the devil. Right? If it is directly linked to emotion, and emotions typically destroy your life, what does the devil do? It destroys your life. So yeah, I can see how they came to that conclusion. Yeah, in a practical way. That's not just superstition or a bunch of priests that have made up their mind how it is based on nothing. See? Emotions are to fuel you. Well, they can be. But that's not necessarily emotions, by the way. Yeah, that's feelings. Feelings are what makes things worth it to you. That's how you attain bliss, or how you affect change on other fronts. But emotion is different, because emotion take grip of you. Feelings don't take grip of you. Feelings come over you. Like a blanket, you feel it. It's like, that's how it feels. Yeah? I like this, or I love it. Emotions are like, emotions get to you. That's the difference. Emotions are an impact. Emotions create hurt, create self-awareness, and they create the needs to dominate the instinct. They re-encourage instinctual behavior, like more primitive type qualities. Right? So there is definitely a very distinct difference between feelings and emotions. Even though colloquially, yeah, they're pretty much the same thing for a lot of people, right? They say, I call them emotions, I call them feelings. And everybody will get what they mean. But there is actually, in my book at least, and this, you can even find this in symbolics.nl, where I did mention it. There's a difference between feelings, which are just there. They're not disruptive, they're more like a coloring. They're just the color of the background to fill in the shapes. But emotions disrupt. That's what they do. They break in and change the course of your action. And they are more fierce because of that, yeah. Or they can become fierce, right? If you resist emotions, then it will build up tension until it breaks through and then makes you do it, right? And that's more fierce then. If you resist emotions, they can build up and become more fierce. That's right. Right? But what is an emotion? Emotion is when somebody you love suddenly dies because of some evil action. That's right. Again, I'm not gonna take it anymore. Super Saiyan. Yeah, that's fucking emotion. Okay, that is emotion. Everybody gets it. It's loss. It's something that, bang, impact. Yeah, emotions, impact. Feelings, it's just there. Emotion, impact. That's how you know, and that's how you recognize, and that's how everybody gets pulled along. Emotion, impact. Story, impact. It pulls you in. It's like, ooh, it gets my attention. That impact pulls you in too. So emotion draw in attention effectively, even in the story. So it has functions too. Has functions in the flow of things and how our attention works in relation to it and in relation to others. But there is a distinct difference though between emotions and feelings. Again, emotion, impact, feeling, they're just there. You just, like a coloring, the color. Feelings are like colors. Emotions are like, they change things. They make an impact, right? Anyway, man, I've been going 2 hours to 30 minutes. It's been an interesting show. I'd love to continue on if anybody's up for that. Hello, Luke Duke. It's been a while. How are you doing? Yeah, I am going to refresh the water though for a bit, if you don't mind. Because those birds are getting kind of thirsty out there. So I'll be right back. And I'll get back to the show. Maybe we could do 3 hours today. Right, and meantime, don't forget to Rogan's it up, guys. I got 8 already, but I'd love to have like 15 or something. Almost done, guys. A big bowl of water, man. Really necessary. I'm gonna give that water bowl about 1 minute before it's all gone. Did I get a dog? No. Hello, fibrotes. I got birds on the roof and they're really freaking thirsty. And the thing that, yeah, they're the cat, but the cats don't drink water. They very rarely do. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Is he gonna do it? No, he didn't do it. Huh. Exhilarating? Wow. The water is considered a precious goods. They're literally... They're like bickering over it. Anyway, how are you doing, fibrotes? You're very late. Normally I'd be done with the show by now for 35 minutes. Fearful what exciting? Is that what exhilarating is? Nay. No, that's not what it is at all. Happy, animated, elated, thrilling. Yeah, it's not fearful. It's just excited. Now, fearful is not in that description, Akumu virus. Yeah, thrilling is thrilling. It's not fearful. Thrilling. Yeah. Causing excitement or pleasure. Also see exhilarating. Not fearful. It's not in there. Fear is not a part of thrilling. Now you can combine it, some like thriller night, right? Yeah, that's supposed to be also scary, but it's also exciting. No, that's what you did say. 449, fearful but excitement. Yeah, that's exactly what you did say. The point is that if you're truly frightened, you're not excited. Don't you get that? If you are actually scared, it's not like, whoa, no, it's just scary. It's like, help, I want it to stop, I want to get out, I want to be safe. You're not like, oh man, this is so adventurous. No, when you're afraid, you're afraid. So it's almost like thrilling almost automatically excludes you from being afraid. Because it wouldn't be thrilling. It would just be scary. Oh, it wasn't about what you were doing. Oh, okay, sure. Whatever. You're just wrong. Thrilling doesn't have anything to do with fear. And even logically, that's obvious because of the reasons that I just explained. Oh, pigeon. Oh, nobody bathed in it so far, so that's good. But they are all diving in for a drink. Yeah, stop trying to convolute your way out of it. Thrilling is not fear-based. Over. Yeah. Stop whining, Akuma Virus. I'm literally going by the fucking quotes that came out of you. It doesn't matter. Oh, I just in response to someone. It doesn't matter. Stop trying to worm your way out. You associated it with fear. You did that. Now fucking own it and shut the fuck up, man. Stop trying to worm your way around everything. I'm so sick of it. Come on. Stop being so weaselly. Said something. Now fucking own it. They prefer movie. Yeah, that's right, Diver Danet. Yeah, drinking out of taps and all that. Fear can lead to excitement. If you overcome the fear. Yeah, fear by not having it anymore. Yeah. Overcoming fear, which, what is the definition of overcoming fear? Is not having fear anymore. Yeah, that leads to excitement, which means that excitement rather excludes a state of fear. Yeah. Watching a horror movie. Yeah, but a horror movie, you're not in any actual fear, though. No, it isn't included. Something can definitely be exciting without having anything fearful to do with it. It's just exciting. Right? I mean, a sport, even watching it, can be very exciting. Does fear have anything to do with that? No. No, it doesn't. Fear is not an antecedent for excitement. If weed was legal, paranoia wouldn't... What? No, Luke Duke. I don't know where you get that, but, I mean... Weed can definitely make you paranoid. At least on the short run. I mean, I've had that. So I don't know where you get that from. Although, yeah, if it was legal, there would be less paranoia. Oh, you were being funny, okay. Yeah. Well, please have your funny make sense. That would be great. Yeah, Cleary. Yeah, I'm just not gonna talk to Kakumu. It's just endless. Like, he just doesn't want to take any responsibility. And I mean, you're not the only one, right? I mean, half the FVD panelists don't even know how to do that ever. Right, they have to be in a special, really tranquil mood for some reason, and then they can suddenly do it. Yeah, but not when it's actually important. When you're doing the damage. Right, so it's not like you're the only one that does that. But It would be great if people could just admit it when they're just wrong. I mean, I won't say how hard can it be, because I know it can be pretty damn hard, right? It's really unpleasant when you figure out that you're wrong. And I guess to a lot of people, it's like much easier to just kind of try to forget about it and like, I was right, and just worm your way around, rather than just realize, hey, you're just wrong. Stop making a fuss about it. You're just wrong. Just deal with it. You're just wrong. It happens. Deal with it. Stop worming away around it. It's pathetic. It really is pathetic. Just admit it when you're wrong. Deal with it. And move on. You're better for it. Everybody's better for it. Just stop being a bitch about when you find out that you're wrong, and just admit it, you're wrong, and move on. So much trouble, so much sin avoided that way. Yeah? Just admit it when you're wrong. It's not a big deal. You make it a big deal. You make it into a big deal. Because for some reason, this world just conditions you, makes you believe through the stupid futurism and supposed science nonsense that, oh, everything's discovered, and that means that your superiors are part of the superior people that get everything right because everything's been discovered and you have all that knowledge. Yeah, it's all horseshit. Yeah, people make mistakes. People make big mistakes. People make so big mistake that they can't ever even handle realizing it, ever. Yeah, people make huge mistakes all the time, sometimes. And because of this stupid Western society type attitude that, oh, we know everything, it's like so hard to just admit it when you're wrong. Like, oh my God, oh, I'd rather die. No, just fucking admit it when you're wrong. It's literally a good deed. Yeah? God smiles upon those that in the moment can just admit when they're wrong. It is so. God smiles upon people that can do that. He knows it can be very terrible, very painful, humiliating, all these things that you really don't want to feel and don't want to deal with. It's much more comfortable to just pretend like it doesn't exist and delude your way around it, yeah? God definitely rewards those who could just say, yep, I was wrong. Here's why. Here's exactly how I know for a fact that I was wrong. This is why it happened. This is how I can prevent it from happening again. Yeah? That's where God gets really happy. Yeah? So just admit it when you're wrong. It's not that big a deal. It's not, like, it shouldn't even matter, this idea like, oh, my opponent that'll never surrender to me is going to get a field day on me turning out to be wrong and admitting it. Oh, no. Fuck that. Fuck that little devil on your fucking shoulder. It doesn't matter what any opponent is gonna do and gonna, oh, I'm victorious, oh, he made a mistake, we're the winner now because he made a mistake once. Yeah, who gives a fuck about what some fucking polarized retard opponent thinks? Or even a worthy opponent. It doesn't matter. You just gotta admit it when you're wrong. It is a systematic cultural issue that people seem to be increasingly incapable of doing that publicly. Do it. Learn it. Admit it when you're wrong. People will respect you more when you admit to being wrong. Yeah, except for grabbler pieces of shit, right? For fanatical opponents that hate everything, they don't. But yeah, the people that matter, that actually matter will respect you more for being wrong. It's that simple, yeah? So by doing the right thing, you automatically attract more valuable people to you. Right? I mean, dude, I even say it on the FED panel to the guys. Hey, yeah, I was wrong. I'm the only one that ever does it, though. I mean, Nathan has actually done, but he must. I mean, he's like the standard by now. He is like that standard. Like, he couldn't afford not to do that. It would destroy everything that he's built. But, yeah, I mean, admitting you're wrong in the heated typical situations that you find yourself into on FED can be quite aggravating. But I do it, though. Yeah? When it's really apparent that I was wrong, I'll admit it. And then hopefully I can even make a bit of a joke out of it so everybody will kind of forget about it. Because I don't like to dwell on how I was wrong, especially in the presence of other people. But I'll still do it though, because God wants me to do that. And He wants you to do that too. Just admit it when you're wrong. Even if it is in a really humiliating moment. Right? You can minimize the amount of humiliation by not gushing over with emotions when admitting it. Just admit it and move on. Best option you got. Most effective. Yeah, the best choice. The most ideal choice. Thus, the most ideal pattern. Which means it is designed by God for you to do that. So just do it. Or become a delusional fuckwit with fluid reality that doesn't really have any foundation when it really comes to that. Right? You can be that too. Lots of people are. Yeah, I can't stand those people. Even though I do tolerate some of them even in this chat. Right, Akumu Virus? Yeah, there's that. Letter said, yeah. Respectable people. Indeed. Now I almost have to put this in the title too, but there's no more room. Dang it. It's not, doesn't fit. Oh my god. Ah, damn it. So close. So damn close. It would almost fit. Yeah, never mind. Shit. No, I can't make it fit. I really tried. 4 more to go. Yeah, 3 hours indeed. I mean, why not? I got a Illuminati croissant, I got a bit of a drink, got a good conversation. It's cooling down. I don't know why I wouldn't continue streaming. I probably will do that more often, even in the weekdays. So yeah, you can expect to have a couple of longer shows during the weekdays, and then hey, I start a bit later than normal, which happens regularly, of course. Well, then I'll just keep going. I'm not gonna go to FED anyway. Not until I get some kind of response or acknowledgement. Anything. Right? Equal treatment. It's really simple. Doesn't matter how it feels to listen to me in that moment, right? It might be quite obnoxious. It doesn't matter. Equal fucking treatment, yeah? People, other guys in the panel are plenty of obnoxious at times, yeah? People don't treat them in those moments like they treat me when I'm in those moments, yeah? Equal fucking treatment. For real. I will not be treated as a fucking pariah that sometimes get praised for how smart I am. Oh, that's really cute, virtue signaling. No, no, no. Actual equal treatment socially. And that's what I need, and I'm not gonna come back until I get recognition, for starters. Because I'm not gonna go through all that just negative crackdown on anti-flat earthers and all that shit if I can't even just be respected like an equal. Like, I'm not gonna sit with people that do that all day long if they can't even fucking respect me as an equal, okay? I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to be part of that. It's not fun. Yeah? It would be great. It would be great fun if I'm gonna be treated like an equal. That's fun. Yeah? An equal. As the most senior panelist in the entire FED by like double lifespan, yeah, actual double duration veteran compared to the second longest hanging around person. Yeah, so yeah, I think that as a very much standing out senior member of FED, I definitely deserve equal treatment. Don't you think? Right, anyway. Man. I mean, the shadow might be here on this side, but it is still plenty of hot. So I can get some wind in here. Ooh, nice. Can you see that breeze? Like my hair's. Oh. Oh, by the way, like my basil plant, the second one is really recovered a lot. Look at how great that top part of it looks now. I mean, yeah, a lot of lower leaves or a lot of it are kind of like dried out and shit. It's not all great, but I mean they're out in the middle of the summer, so still doing great. And there's like lots of little shoots like getting out there, so it's like really enjoying this weather, I think. Great, right? And in the meantime, the other basil plant is, yeah, it's kind of aging. So I think I just waited too long with this one. I don't think I can. I might be able to harvest, but it's like blooming. Just check it out. Look at that. All these upper shoots here are all blooming. Like they're gonna form flowers pretty quickly. But it's nice. I mean, I like them. And as soon as I'm actually gonna use basil, I'm probably gonna harvest the other plant because it's much more alive. But yeah, they're still great. Yeah, here's the little parsley, whatever's left of it, that is. Right, so yeah, it's really tiny, but it's working, I guess. But I doubt there's anything really big gonna grow out of it anymore. Whatever, we'll see what it goes. Rosemary seems okay. Maybe it's like drying out too much, I'm not sure. It certainly has been like buffing up overall. What do you think? And the spiders really love to sit in it for some reason. Alright. Yeah, the oregano is like doing great. The old one. Check it out, man. There's like all kinds of shoots that are really like exploding. Right? This thing is still blossoming like crazy. Getting super fluffy. And I think that, yeah, there's a new blooming branch coming out of there. So this thing is really enjoying itself. Isn't that just great? And look at the middle of there. Like there's so much stuff still like eager to get out of there. So great. And then last, yeah, the other oregano plant. I'm still not entirely sure what to think about those purple branches, though. I mean, are they actual? Like, is that dying or isn't it? I'm not sure, man. Now, this one seems to be doing great, this branch, but a lot of it seems to be kind of different shades of purple. And then this here is like totally deep dark purple, but it seemed like it's all dried out. So I'm not entirely sure what to think of this purple stuff. It looks nice enough. It looks pretty, it's like autumn colors. It's kind of nice. The flowers are edible. Yeah, I know. But I just like looking at them. Genoese? What are you guys talking about? That one lacking fertilizer? Which one, Luke? Which one? You mean the last oregano plant? Are you sure? Too much light? Close to the grow lights. Okay, that's weird though, because I mean, there's no grow lights. The second basil. The smaller one? Or the bigger one? The bigger one is just older. Like, it's much older than the other one. And, I mean... yeah. The yellowy looking one. Well, I don't know what to add. Like, it's doing fine though. I mean, it's not really super yellow. It's just become a little bit more yellow. It eventually happens. They just age. Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't really have any, like, fertilizer. Like, I try it for sure. I just don't have that stuff. I just got potting ground. That's it. If I want fertilizer, I'd have to get a bag of fertilizer. I can't afford that right now. Ever grown them? Well, look, Duke, I get them in prefab pots. So you get like a pot, very little pot, with just a whole bunch of them in a bushel in the store, and then I repotted them and made them grow. That's what I do here. I've never seeded any of these plants. They're all plants that I just bought like that and then repotted. Weekly feed in the water. Okay. Okay, dude, I'd love to have that stuff. I don't have it though. Dead mulches leaves. Right. Yeah, well, whether it's manure or mulch or whatever, or... yeah, the problem is I have none of it. But I mean, a little, like, fertilizer would be great. I could just indeed, like, put it in water and then just pour it in there. Baby bio? €3? Okay, that is absolutely nothing. Let me check that. What? That's not. You got an actual brand because Baby Bio is not yielding the proper results in the search. Oh wait, Baby Burby fertilizer. Maybe that works. Oh yeah. Is that actually good stuff though? It is really cheap, it seems. €3. Oh, get the hell out of here! The fuck? Stupid pop-up shit. We'll try to find it. Oh my god. Why? Why does it always happen like that? Jesus. What? Oh. Come on. I don't think they have it in the Netherlands, or what the hell, man? What the fuck does all of this have to do? How the fuck do you say that? Okay. Wow, okay, so yeah, I'm looking for it here. There's no €3 plant food. It's not there. Cheapest thing I can find is like €13. Blood meal? What the hell? Right, if anybody like wants to send me a bottle or something, that would be very helpful. But yeah, I can't find anything that's like doable in price. I think it would literally be cheaper to go to the organic store and just buy a sack of mulch. That would be cheaper than this. paid that. Dude, apart as well, I'd love that stuff. It's not in the list. And yeah. It's only sold in like one freaking specialist store, I think. Like a grower's store specifically. And through Amazon, which I didn't use. God damn it. I guess I could just do it. 20 liters, Jesus. How long do you do with like 250 milliliter? A quarter of a liter. How long do you do that? I think I might be able to get this. Whoa, you have PayPal? Holy shit. That's quite handy. What are we talking now? We're talking about fertilizer. Dude, but where is it gonna send it? This is... Oh. Okay, this might work, I think. God. What? Okay. Yeah. That's cool. There's like a shipment cost of €6.90 for a €3 product. It's brilliant. Wow. So I'd end up literally paying €10 anyway. Yeah, I don't do Amazon, Duke. Never. It would last you a long time. Okay, well maybe it's worth it for $10, I guess. This might be weird, but could anybody perhaps send me €10 in the PayPal? Because I'm not really gonna be able to afford this. I can barely afford to get more food right now. I mean, I got something from you guys yesterday after the show. That's why I'm still here doing the show. For over 3 hours, by the way. 3 hours, 20 minutes. If you all are still... Whoa, 25 upvotes. That's a lot. No response? Are you guys still here? Are you still enjoying the show? What? Ah, crap. Shit. Yeah, I think I might literally not be able to pay it because there's nothing on my PayPal currently. Ugh. The fuck is that? I'll try it out. Okay. Well, I did it. It seemed to have worked. Don't know if it's gonna work because I can't pay it right now. But it's kind of fun that I could actually order that through PayPal. That's never happened before. Let's see if the bill is sitting there. Hey! Oh, somebody just... Layton! Thank you. Yeah, Skeptic 936 just donated to me apparently. Thank you for that, man. That's really appreciated. We'll send some Friday. Oh, that's awesome. That would be great, Lulu. I really need the support. I've been kind of desperate for a while. But anyway, it's ordered. I've done it. Thanks for the tips, guys. I mean, I appreciate that. I want to try it out. I mean, it's just going to be one little bottle. It's like very small. I'm just kind of surprised that it just worked like that. Although that extra cost was kind of ridiculous, though. €7? Just for shipping? Like, what the hell? Like, within the country. What's going on? Anyway, I tried it out. And yeah, we'll see when that's gonna arrive here. How does this work? Is it like taking it from my bank or something? I've never ordered anything through PayPal before. I don't know how this works. This is like the very, very first time ever that I've actually done that. Mostly I just receive money with PayPal. Let's see. Let's see if it forced its way. No, it didn't force its way. Okay, maybe it's just gonna be detracted the next available opportunity. I don't know. We'll see how this works. Alright, but I got fertilizer that's probably gonna arrive somewhere next week, and then I'll test it out on the plants and see what it does. I got a dono to get that? What? What do you mean, Borders Boy? I got your brand that you recommended, but it was only for sale in one store. Oh, a donation. Yeah, indeed. I very much appreciate that. Thanks, Skeptic. Although he probably already gave it before I even asked, because I hadn't checked PayPal or anything. So yeah, I really appreciate that. And I needed this. I really needed it, guys. And to be fair, I'm probably gonna need it again the coming week. Because I'm like, well, I'm technically right now dead broke. And of course, PayPal money from yesterday is going to come in probably Monday, hopefully. Otherwise, I won't have anything to eat. But I mean, as soon as that comes in, I'm going to like immediately need to spend all of it. Just to get like basic necessary food things. Just so I can eat. Because I'm really tight. So any kind of support donation is really, really appreciated. Right. Anyway, I think I'm gonna maneuver towards rounding out the show. 3 hours, 26 minutes. Whoa. Right. I think I'm gonna try to round out on the 33-minute mark. You can do for yeah. Yeah. Come on. Watch my longest show? I think this is my longest show now. Although, maybe there's been one show where I did like 3 hours and 30 minutes already. But that's been a while ago. And I don't think it was completely uninterrupted. I think it was like a split up show. Right, nice work. Yeah, I agree. And I got good energy. I hope it came across today. That I do have good energy. I feel I do have, like, thanks to my healer, figured out that I was basically getting possessed by Lucifer with all that anger. And it was getting really inflaming, and thanks to my healer, like, basically shockingly reminding me of that. Or telling me, like, no, you were actually wrong. And you're still stuck in it. And that's, like, really embarrassing. Right? And that's on a private phone call, okay? It's really fucked up in a moment when you think no, I'm on the right side, right? And no, you're on the wrong side. That really fucking hurts. That's how it works, right? I mean, it's just admit you're wrong. It hurts, it sucks, but just do it. Because otherwise, you ain't getting no reward from God. You gotta admit it. And I did, and I think that everything is improving. Because of it, including this show. I mean, I haven't really gotten angry even once. And been, yeah, pretty positive, lots of different subjects. It's been great. I like this show. Right. So yeah, I guess that's it then. Time for some serious lunch because I am hungry, even though I did have that Illuminati croissant. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming for this super extra long show, Saturday show. Hope you liked it. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogan's it up. I see I already have like 25. I haven't had 25 upvotes in a long time. This might be the first time on this very channel that I have that amount of votes. So pretty cool. Right. If you also liked it, then please don't forget to Rogan's it up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live. It is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That will be much appreciated. And thanks for all the support again. But please keep it coming. I'm gonna still need it, like in the coming week. Right, so I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 1628, a Sunday. Hope to see you all there. There's no ballbusters this evening. So yeah, see you around in the chats. And until the next video, keep it flat. Yeah, and have a really nice weekend. All right.